Today we are going to talk about quadratic residues. First, the definition. If the congruence x squared congruent to n mod p has a solution where p is a prime and n is not congruent to 0 mod p, we say that n is a quadratic residue mod p and we write n r p. Otherwise, we say that n is a quadratic non-residue mod p and we write n r bar p. Now, two basic problems arise when we talk about quadratic residues. Number one is, given a prime p, find out those values of n which are quadratic residues mod p and which values of n are quadratic non-residues mod p. And two, given a number n, determine those primes for which n is a quadratic residue mod p and those for which n is a quadratic non-residue mod p. Now let's look at an example. To find the quadratic residues modulo 11, we square each of the numbers 1, 2, 3 up to 10 and reduce them modulo 11. We get 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 5, 5 squared is 3 mod 11. Note 5 squared is 25, which is the same as 3 mod 11. Now we don't need to go further because I know that 6 is the same as minus 5 mod 11 and therefore 6 squared is the same as minus 5 squared, which is equal to 3 mod 11. 7 squared is equal to minus 4 the whole squared, which is 5 mod 11, and so on till we reach 10 squared, which is the same as minus 1 the whole squared, which is 1 mod 11. Hence, the quadratic residues mod 11 are 1, 3, 4, 5, 9 and the non-residues are 2, 6, 7, 8 and 10. Let's go to the first theorem. Let p be an odd prime. Then every reduced residue system mod p contains exactly p minus 1 by 2 quadratic residues and exactly p minus 1 by 2 quadratic non-residues mod p. The quadratic residues belong to the residue classes containing the numbers 1 squared, 2 squared up to p minus 1 by 2 the whole squared. Let me prove this. Clearly the numbers 1 squared, 2 squared and so on up to p minus 1 by 2 the whole squared are distinct mod p. How do we know that? Otherwise, we would have x squared congruent to y squared mod p with x lying between 1 and p minus 1 by 2 and y also lying between 1 and p minus 1 by 2. But then x squared minus y squared can be written as x plus y into x minus y and that is congruent to 0 mod p. Now x plus y into x minus y is congruent to 0 mod p is basically happening in a integral domain, in the integral domain zp, and because zp is a integral domain, it has no zero divisors, so either x plus 1 y is congruent to 0 mod p or x minus y is congruent to 0 mod p. X plus y cannot be congruent to 0 mod p because x plus y lies between 1 and p, and hence x minus y is congruent to 0 mod p, and again x minus y is definitely less than p, and hence x minus y is actually equal to 0 or x is equal to y. Since p minus k the whole squared is the same as k squared mod p, every quadratic residue is congruent mod p to exactly one of these numbers listed here. Next definition. If p is an odd prime and n is not congruent to 0 mod p, the Legendre symbol n over p is defined as follows. N over p is equal to plus 1 if n is a quadratic residue modulo p. It is minus 1 if n is a quadratic non-residue modulo p. If n is congruent to 0 mod p, then n over p is equal to 0. The next theorem which is also called Euler's criterion, goes as follows. If P is not prime, then for all n, n over P is congruent to n raised to P minus 1 by 2 mod P. Let me prove this. First of all, note that this value on the left can take only three possible values. Either take the value 0 or plus 1 or minus 1. So let me first assume it takes the value 0. If it takes the value 0, the left hand side is 0, and when is that equal to 0? When n is congruent to 0 mod P. And therefore, the right hand side is 0 to some power mod P, which is again equal to 0. Therefore, when n over P is equal to 0, both sides of the equation are 0, and hence the congruence clearly holds true. Now let me go to the case when n over P is equal to 1. Then, if n over P is equal to 1, then n is a quadratic residue mod P. That means we can find an x such that x squared is congruent to n mod P. And hence, n raised to P minus 1 by 2 is congruent to x squared raised to P minus 1 by 2, which I can write as x raised to P minus 1, which is congruent to 1 mod P, and that is equal to n over P mod P. Hence, when n over P is equal to 1, the result is true. Now let me come to the third case. Suppose n over P is equal to minus 1. The polynomial f of x is equal to x squared raised to P minus 1 by 2 minus 1 has degree P minus 1 by 2, and hence it can have at the most P minus 1 by 2 solutions. But just a little time ago we proved that every quadratic residue is a solution of this equation, and hence I know that the P minus 1 quadratic residues are solutions of the equation. So we've already got our P minus 1 by 2 solutions, and hence nothing else can be a solution. Therefore, none of the residues, non-residues, are solutions. Hence, n raised to P minus 1 by 2 is not congruent to 1 mod P if n over P is equal to minus 1. But then Fermat's little theorem says that n raised to P minus 1 is equal to 1 mod P if P does not divide n. Hence, n raised to P minus 1 by 2 is congruent to plus or minus 1 mod P. It cannot be equal to plus 1, and hence, if n is a non-residue, n raised to P minus 1 by 2 is congruent to minus 1 mod P. But we started with assuming that n over P is minus 1, and we got n raised to P minus 1 by 2 is also equal to minus 1, and therefore again the result is true. Next theorem says that the Legendre symbol n over P is a completely multiplicative function of n. Let me prove that. If P divides m or P divides n, then P divides mn, so that mn over P is equal to 0, and either m over P is 0 or n over P is 0. Therefore, mn over P is equal to m over P into n over P if P divides m or P divides n. Now let's look at the case when this is not true. That is, P divides m, I don't have either P divides m or P divides n. That means P does not divide m and P does not divide n. If P does not divide m and P does not divide n, P obviously cannot divide mn. Therefore, I can look at mn over P. Now this I can write as mn raised to P minus 1 by 2 using Euler's criterion, which is equal to m raised to P minus 1 by 2 into n raised to P minus 1 by 2, which is congruent to m over P into n over P mod P. But each of these numbers, m1 over P, m over P, n over P, each of them is either plus 1 or minus 1. And hence, the difference mn over P minus m over P into n over P is either 0, 2 or minus 2. Since this difference is divisible by p, it is 0. The next theorem says that for every odd prime p, minus 1 over p is equal to minus 1 raised to p minus 1 by 2, which is equal to 1 if p is congruent to 1 mod 4, and it's equal to minus 1 if p is congruent to 3 mod 4. Let's come to the proof of that. If p is congruent to 1 mod 4, then I can write p in the form 4k plus 1 by Euler's criterion. And therefore, n over p is congruent to n raised to p minus 1 by 2 mod p, which is congruent to minus 1 raised to 2k. When I substitute this 4k for this p minus 1, I get minus 1 raised to 2k, which is congruent to 1 mod p. Similarly, p is congruent to 1 mod 4 implies p is of the form 4k plus 3, and hence n over p is congruent to n raised to p minus 1 by 2 mod p. Now that is equal to minus 1 raised to 2k plus 1, and minus 1 raised to any odd power gives me minus 1 mod p, and therefore by Euler's criterion this is a quadratic non-residue.